Hello folks, welcome back. Okay, so apparently, and how things Goto's dead and gone. And we think, or we rather wished, that he'd suffered a hell of a lot more. Yes, but our ultimate prize was not aboard the yacht. Ah, well, what you still here flapping your gums for? Take me there.
If you thought to escape my notice so easily,
What the hell?
you would be wrong. As a token of my goodwill, I present to you a gift, this droid. It will serve you well on your journey.
What the? How do you get on my ship?
I'm afraid I do not understand what you mean.
I speak plain English. I said, how do you get on my ship? Good grief, why would I want this tin can?
As I indicated, this unit will remain with you and guard you. It will also serve as an effective voice for my orders during your journey.
Good God. How bizarre. And how do I know it won't try to kill me?
I cannot harm you. You are the key to saving the Republic. Pray that you do not prove yourself otherwise.
Oh, Goto, how catchy. The G-O-T-O, Goto, has joined your party. Special powers over droids and cannot set off mines. Isn't that handy? Well, fine. Not one to look a gift horse in the mouth. Except, but I will keep it under close watch. Or rather, Bowder, the technical guru, will keep it under close watch. And any sign of misdemeanor, and it shall be in the recycle bin.
So you have returned from exile, though I do not know why. You were
What?
always difficult to read, when you were tied to the Force, and even more when it was lost to you. But I can sense the death of others upon your hands. I know how this will end. But I will answer your questions, if only for some measure of peace. In exchange, I wish only the answer to one. Why have you done this to the Jedi? Was it revenge or something more?
Revenge? You think me so petty? You think me petty to get revenge, and that's all that's on my mind? I am not responsible for this.
But you are. Whatever this threat is, it leaves echoes in the Force, wounds that do not heal. It is something we had never felt before, until you stood before us in judgment, and we exiled you.
So, you exiled me because you blamed me.
Yes, whatever was killing the Jedi, it was something tied to you, something you had experienced and had survived. Some of us sought to understand you, to find you. It seems we succeeded, even though we thought you were lost to us. Now, as we hoped, you have returned, and you know nothing that could help us. Such irony.
Such irony indeed. Well, we could get to the killing part where we just lop him down where he stands, but no, we haven't trekked through this hellhole of a planet just to do that. We might as well get answers to questions.
What I can tell you, I will.
Okay, I suppose we'll just go down the list. It'll save me having to miss out on anything. Yes. First of all, where are all the other Jedi?
They have scattered, but there is purpose in their movements. It is both to hunt and draw out our enemies. Somehow, we, are being targeted through the Force, and when Jedi gather, we are vulnerable. So we have chosen places where it is difficult to sense others through the Force, whether on planets dense with life, or touched by war. In such places, we may conceal ourselves, gather information, without presenting ourselves as targets. It was part of Kavar's plan.
Kavar's plan. And what plan is that exactly?
Yes, he felt if our enemy cannot detect us, then perhaps they would believe themselves victorious and show themselves. And we knew that the war would be lost if we continued to act as we had. I do not know where they wander now. There are few of us, though. Too few. And I have not heard from them in some time.
Yes. Well, we encountered Rook on Dantooine, that's one.
Rook still lives? I had not felt his presence for some time.
No, he's not living, I'm afraid. Had a slight unfortunate accident.
Very well.
And there's also Atris.
They have Yeah, I do.
Yes, Atris is on Telos as well.
Atris, but I had thought she had gone to KOTOR with the others.
Well, obviously you're not. You sound surprised.
Yes, she holds the last of the Jedi teachings. It is good she survived.
Oh, maybe we'll kill her last then. Right, thank you. I have more questions.
Very well.
What happened to them? What? Oh, okay.
It is a long story, but there is no harm in you knowing. And someone should know. Only a handful of us remained after the Jedi Civil War. Barely 100 in number. Then, even that 100 began to vanish, in places where the Force seemed blind. The only pattern we determined is that when Jedi gathered, they were seen no more. At the last Jedi conclave on the Miraluka world of KOTOR, the entire planet was wiped out. An entire race destroyed, because the Jedi chose to gather there. It was only then that we realized we were facing something far more powerful, and we knew how to fight.
Oh dear. Doom and gloom indeed. So is that why you hid?
We could not allow the fact that when we gathered, we placed everything around us at risk. A Jedi's life is sacrifice, but we cannot allow our presence or actions to endanger others. And we cannot fight an enemy that will not reveal itself. But any Jedi, anyone who is strong in the Force, who attempted to track down such a threat, vanished without a trace.
It's not a good sign, is it? Quite scary when you can't see what's attacking you. Tell me about this threat.
I know little about it. I know more of the absence it leaves behind than its face. Whatever this threat was, it was targeting us and everything around us. Yet it was somehow weak enough that it was afraid to confront us openly. If it believed us defeated, then perhaps it would finally show itself. It was a faint hope, but it was the best we had. It was Kavar's plan. He was always the greatest tactician among us, and had seen war more than the rest of us.
Okay. Other questions?
Very well.
So, I need to know exactly why you cast me out of the Order. It's been bugging me for some time now. Some clarity, some finality would go a long way to cleansing me, you know.
We told you it was because you followed Revan to war, but you ask because you are not certain of that answer, nor were we.
No, it's a
the
sham.
day we cast you out, that is the moment I decided to leave the Order, because I do not believe we truly faced the reasons you were exiled, and if we do not examine such truths, then we are already lost. I think it was because we were afraid. It is a difficult thing to live one's life with the Force. To see a vision of what it would be like to be severed from it, it is more frightening than you know.
So I didn't really answer my question to the best that I had hoped, but never mind.
Very well.
And spanning on from that then, why did you cut me off from the Force?
Is that what you think? We did no such thing. But it is a technique that has been used as punishment in the past, yes. It is a rare sentence, and to my knowledge it has only been done once, at a moment where a Jedi discipline has failed. What caused your loss, I fear, was different. I am not certain I understand it. We did not understand it fully then, and only recently do I feel we may have become enlightened. The other masters may have more knowledge of this, but I do not. And I do not know if they even live. Does it matter? It seems your power has returned. Perhaps the loss was not a loss at all.
Well, no, considering now my power's returned tenfold, I feel far more powerful than I ever did. It's probably a bonus. a boon, a fortunate happenstance.
Very well.
So, at the end of my trial, you and the other masters had something happen to me. What was that something?
Ah, so the records of your trial were found. Good. Sometimes I think this galaxy would be a better place if there were less Jedi secrets. But I have no answer for you, as much as I would like to give one. We vowed never to speak of it. And although I would not keep promises to Jedi, I keep promises I make to others. And Kavar was a friend. If we were gathered as one, then the promise might be revoked. Until then, I can say nothing.
Okay.
Very well.
And why are you on Nar Shaddaa?
I had thought perhaps that here upon the Smuggler's Moon, I might find some evidence of the threat we faced. The bounties on Jedi and their disappearance. I did not believe the two were connected, but there was a chance. And the strong currents of life here on Nar Shaddaa make perceiving a Force user difficult. I could use it to cloak my movements and watch without being discovered.
Okay, and
Very well.
finally indeed. Do you know anything about Force bonds and how to end them? Just curious.
Yes, such bonds are a connection that can be formed at moments of crisis, or in the slow understanding that grows between master and apprentice. It is most common between two beings who are sensitive to the Force. It allows the transmission of feelings, of influence. It was something you were gifted with, as I recall, before your fall. You formed such attachments easier than most, even to those who could feel the Force only faintly. Even Brooke could not ignore it, which is saying something.
Is there any way to remove this bond?
I do not know. A bond between two living beings is not something easily broken. It is not a choice. It is like breaking a feeling, like turning away from the Force. One of you would have to die, but even then, the bond wouldn't go away. It would simply be empty. A wound.
A wound? You mean I'm stuck with that old hag for life? Oh, God. Well, maybe if we keep her locked away in a cell at some point, these are just little mind games that go through her mind. She's not serious, of course. Right, okay, well, I think I've heard enough here. I think I've heard enough.
Yeah, even.
Yes, explaining about the bond with Claire. Nah, we don't need to. His lack of knowledge in this subject is kind of sickening, really, considering himself a master. Right. Okay, well, you have proved rather useful in your information. Nothing groundbreaking. I know quite a few of the things you have said already, but some not so bad. And you're not just cantankerous and condescending as that Vrook fella. So I'm going to give you a choice. What do you wish to happen now?
Now I must take up the role I was ready to cast aside. This threat has finally revealed itself, and we Jedi will need to stand together. I did not speak fully of what I have felt. Staying on Nar Shaddaa, it is an exile of sorts, one that I have chosen. I, too, lost a Padawan on Malachor, not to the battle, but to the alternative, to the teachings that Revan brought from the unknown regions. And I was not the only Jedi Master to watch a student turn on them.
Oh. So, you blame them?
No, they were not to blame, but many of the Order did so. It was a difficult time, a time of strong emotion. Perhaps the Council, perhaps the Order itself, had grown arrogant in their teachings. It is easy to cast blame, but it is perhaps time the Order accepted responsibility for their teachings and their arrogance, and come to recognize that perhaps we are flawed. Not once did I hear one of the Council claim responsibility for Revan, for Exar Kun, for Ulic, for Malak, or for you. Yet, you were the only one who came back from the wars to face our judgment. And rather than attempting to understand why you did what you did, we punished you instead. Our one chance to see where we had gone wrong, and we cast it aside. And now, that decision has come back to us, and may carry with it our destruction. Perhaps there is something wrong in us, in our teachings, and though I tried, I could not cause that thought to leave me, so I left the council. And I was not the only one. That is why many scattered, and why many in the Republic do not trust us, and why we do not trust ourselves. Make no mistake, I am no Jedi. This is the end, you see. After this, there will be nothing, and I think it will be for the best. Do you wish to do battle now? I have nothing more to say.
Battle? Battle? Do you wish battle? I was willing to spare you. But, alas, if that is what we must do... I'm not going to start talking about redemption and all this kind of mumbo-jumbo. But yeah, I want to let him live. So it's more of a punishment? Yeah, maybe so. But not for that specific reason, of course. I just think that he's sort of shown his true colours. Spoke the truth, that exiling me was wrong. And, you know, shall I like it when people admit their mistakes? It's taking a sense of ownership over their errors, rather than hiding and putting on a false front. I appreciate that. So I'm going to suggest that we not fight. Let your living be a punishment to other Jedi. Make mistakes, and you suffer the consequences.
It provides no comfort at all, for reasons in which I still must keep secret. Suffice to say, redemption was not Revan's choice, and I have never believed those of the Council who attempt to console themselves otherwise for the crime they committed.
Well, and is there anything you could teach me? Any knowledge would be greatly appreciated. Think of it as repayment.
But we have spoken enough, I think. In words, I think, dull us both. Let us speak through the Force, through sparring. This is a long war, I fear, with many battles left to fight. You will need to conserve your strength when using the Force, if you hope to make it through the long road ahead. This form heightens your affinity to the Force, allowing you to gather your strength faster, even in the midst of combat.
Oh, it's teaching me a Force form.
Perhaps exile has been good to you indeed. It has certainly not dulled your instincts, nor the speed at which you learn. I shall go to Dantooine, to the ruins of the Enclave. If you gather the others, I will meet you there. And thank you, Exile. You are returning. It is good that you are back among us.